Let's begin with a simple idea. Most people chase success, but few people build the foundation that makes success inevitable. What you do daily, not occasionally, defines who you are becoming. So let's talk about 5 things you must work on every single day, not occasionally, not when it's convenient, every day. These are not hacks, these are fundamentals, and fundamentals never go out of style. 1, clarity of purpose. Every day, remind yourself of your why. Why do you get up in the morning? Why does your work matter? Why do you push yourself? Clarity is power, and when you start your day rooted in your deeper purpose, your actions gain direction. You're not just reacting to life, you're responding with intention. Ask yourself this: are my actions today aligned with the person I want to become tomorrow? 2, self-discipline motivation is fleeting, but discipline that's built. Every day do something you don't want to do, but need to. Wake up early, go for the workout, stick to the schedule. Not because it's easy, but because it strengthens your character. Discipline is the bridge between goals and growth. And the best part, you don't need to be perfect, you just need to show up. 3, emotional mastery. How you feel is important, but how you respond to how you feel, that's what determines your outcome. Every day, check in with your emotions. Are you leading with fear or with courage? Are you reacting or are you responding? Emotional intelligence is not soft, it's strategic. And the more you understand your emotional landscape, the more resilient you become under pressure. 4, continuous learning. The world changes fast, but those who keep learning stay ahead. Every day, feed your mind, read something, listen to something, reflect on what you've learned. You don't have to consume everything, you just need to stay curious. The goal isn't to know everything, the goal is to never stop growing. Remember, curiosity didn't kill the cat, stagnation did. 5, relationship cultivation. We rise and fall with the people around us. Every day, invest in relationships. Check in with someone, give before you ask, lead with empathy. The most successful people aren't just intelligent, they're connected. Because trust isn't built in a day, it's built daily. Your network is not about numbers, it's about depth. Let me leave you with this. Greatness isn't built in the spotlight, it's built in your daily rituals. You don't need more time, you need more intention. And if you commit to these 5 things, just 5, every single day, your life will begin to compound in ways that most people will never understand, because while they're chasing motivation, you're building momentum. Would you like me to generate the YouTube title, description tags, and hashtags for this too? Every day, before you pick up your phone, before you get pulled into the noise of the world, you must ask yourself one question. Why am I doing this? Why do I show up? Why do I choose to push forward? Why does any of this matter? We live in a world that celebrates hustle, but rarely questions direction. People are busy, yes, but busy doesn't mean purposeful. Busyness is often the enemy of clarity. And if you don't know your why, your efforts may be loud, but they won't be lasting. Clarity of purpose isn't just a motivational idea, it's a strategy, it's a compass. It gives your actions meaning, your struggles context, and your victories significance. Without it, you're just chasing tasks, not building a legacy. Here's the truth. Purpose doesn't have to be massive or world-changing. It doesn't have to be flashy or dramatic. In fact, most purpose is quiet. It's found in the ordinary moments. When a father decides to be a better role model for his son, when a young man chooses to rise above the circumstances he was born into, when someone says, I want to make a difference even if no one sees it, that is purpose, and it must be visited daily. Why daily? Because clarity fades. Life throws distractions at us, deadlines, demands, disappointment, and slowly we drift. But the people who build meaningful lives, the ones we admire, they don't wait for purpose to show up randomly. They return to it, they realign, they remind themselves of their why every single morning. Purpose is the foundation of consistency. When you know why you're doing something, discipline becomes easier. Sacrifice makes sense. Even failure becomes fuel. This is why companies with a strong mission outperform their competitors. This is why great leaders don't just tell people what to do, they tell them why it matters. Because the why ignites commitment. Now let's turn that mirror inward. If you don't know your purpose yet, that's okay, but don't ignore the question. Start exploring it. Reflect on what gives you energy, on what moments make you feel most alive, most connected, most useful. Purpose is rarely found in the spotlight. It's revealed through service, through struggle, through self-honesty. And once you find that purpose, even just a glimpse of it, return to it every day. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Build your decisions around it. Let it guide who you become. Because when you know your why, your how becomes stronger and your what becomes unstoppable. Let me know when you're ready for the next one, or if you want this part turned into a video script or voiceover style narration Of course, here's the expanded version of the second keynote, self-discipline, in Simon Sinek's educational and motivational tone, up to 500 words. Discipline is often misunderstood. People think it's about restriction, about denying yourself enjoyment or grinding your way through life with clenched fists. But that's not discipline. That's punishment. Real discipline is about alignment. It's the daily choice to act in a way that serves your future, not just your feelings in the moment. The truth is, motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Some mornings you'll feel unstoppable. Other days, you won't even want to get out of bed. If your actions are built only on how you feel, your results will be inconsistent at best. But when you build discipline, you're no longer at the mercy of your emotions. You're driven by intention. Discipline is what bridges the gap between your goals and your growth. It's not about doing extraordinary things. It's about doing the simple things with extraordinary consistency. Waking up when you said you would, honoring your commitments even when no one's watching, saying no when distraction calls. These are not massive actions, but they are meaningful, and over time they compound into something powerful. Every day you are casting a vote for the kind of person you want to become. Discipline is simply the act of showing up even when you don't feel like it, and casting that vote anyway. And the beauty is, every small act of discipline builds trust, not with others, but with yourself. And self-trust is the foundation of confidence. People often ask, how do I stay consistent? The answer isn't more motivation. It's structure, rituals, systems. You build your environment to support the version of you that shows up with intention. You remove friction. You make your values easy to live out, and then you make it non-negotiable. Discipline is also not about being rigid. It's about being committed. There's a difference. Rigid people break under pressure. Committed people bend, adapt, adjust, but they never stop, and they never forget why they started. That's what discipline gives you. Resilience in the face of chaos. A steady hand when the world gets noisy. This isn't about perfection. You will miss days. You will fall short. But discipline isn't about never failing. It's about never quitting. If you fall down, you get back up. And you don't wait for the perfect moment to start again. You start right now. In the mess, in the middle of your doubt. Because the disciplined person understands this. Success doesn't come from doing everything right all the time. It comes from doing the right thing a little bit every time for a long time. That's what makes the difference between average and excellent. Not talent, not luck, but the willingness to do the work when it's boring, when it's hard, when no one's watching. Discipline is freedom. It gives you control over your future. And the more you honor it daily, the less you'll need motivation at all. Absolutely. Here's the expanded version of the third keynote, Emotional Mastery, delivered in a clear, educational, and inspiring tone in the style of Simon Sinek. Your emotions are real, but they are not always right. One of the most powerful things a person can learn is how to feel deeply without being driven blindly. Emotional mastery is not about suppressing how you feel. It's about understanding your emotions, processing them, and choosing how to respond, not just react. Most people live at the mercy of their emotions. If they wake up tired, the day feels heavy. If someone criticizes them, they spiral into self-doubt. If things don't go as planned, they let frustration run the show. And what happens? Their behavior becomes unpredictable. Their relationships suffer, their progress stalls, not because they aren't capable, but because they haven't learned to lead themselves emotionally. Mastering your emotions doesn't mean you'll never feel anger, fear, or sadness again. It means those feelings no longer control your actions. It means you can observe your inner world without letting it dictate your outer behavior. When you learn to pause before you respond, you gain power. Power to make decisions that align with your values, not just your moods. We often think intelligence is about IQ, how much we know, but emotional intelligence, or EQ, is just as critical. It's the ability to recognize what you're feeling, understand why you're feeling it, and use that information to guide your behavior. High EQ leaders don't explode under pressure. They don't take things personally. They don't avoid hard conversations. They lean in with calm, with courage, and with clarity. Every day, your emotions send you messages. Fear might be telling you to pay attention. Frustration might be highlighting unmet expectations. Joy reminds you what matters most. But most people don't take the time to decode these messages. They either ignore them completely or let them run wild. Neither approach serves long-term growth. Developing emotional mastery starts with awareness. Ask yourself throughout the day, what am I feeling right now? Why? Is this feeling helpful or harmful in this moment? That simple reflection can change everything, because when you become aware, you become responsible. And with responsibility comes choice. You also need to create space, time, to reflect, to breathe, to reset. In a world that glorifies urgency, space is a luxury most people never give themselves. But it's in that space that you make better decisions, not just faster ones. When you master your emotions, you become someone others can rely on. You become the calm in the chaos, the leader people trust, the friend people turn to. More importantly, you become someone you can rely on, even in the hardest moments. Because success isn't just about what you know or what you do. It's about how well you manage the battles inside you. And when you can lead yourself emotionally, there is no situation you cannot face with strength and clarity. The most successful people in any field share one common trait: they never stop learning. They don't think of growth as a one-time event, a degree, or a course they completed years ago. They see it as a lifestyle, a daily commitment, a way of being. Learning isn't something you did, it's something you do continuously. In a world that's constantly changing, what you knew yesterday might not be enough tomorrow. Industries shift, technologies evolve, people grow, and if you're not learning, you're not standing still. You're falling behind. But continuous learning isn't just about staying competitive, it's about staying curious, it's about expanding who you are so you can reach who you're meant to be. Curiosity is the seed of every breakthrough. Every idea, every innovation, every solution begins with a question. How does this work? What if we tried it differently? Why not me? When you feed your mind, you stretch your perspective, and perspective is what separates the average from the exceptional. Learning isn't always formal. It doesn't require a classroom or a certification. It happens in conversations, in quiet moments of reflection, in failures, in feedback. It's reading 5 pages of a book that challenges you. It's listening to a podcast that shifts your mindset. It's taking notes after a mistake instead of ignoring it. And here's the truth. The most teachable people are the most resilient. They don't take failure personally because they see it as information. They don't run from feedback, they seek it out. Not because they're insecure, but because they are committed to becoming better. The key is to be intentional. You don't need to consume everything. You just need to commit to learning something every day, even if it's small, especially when it's small. Because small insights compound over time into deep wisdom. Some days you'll feel like you're not making progress. You'll wonder if the books, the notes, the reflection is really adding up to anything. But that's the thing about growth. It's not always visible in the moment. It reveals itself in how you think, how you respond, how you lead under pressure. It shows up when life tests you and you realize you're stronger, wiser, and calmer than you were before. That's the power of daily learning. It doesn't just give you knowledge, it gives you confidence. It gives you tools, it gives you perspective. It makes you a better communicator, a better thinker, a better human being. So don't wait for life to force you to grow. Choose it, seek it, practice it. Because the people who commit to learning today are the ones who will lead tomorrow. Not because they know it all, but because they never stop being students. So here's what it all comes down to. Every day you are either building the life you want or drifting further from it. There is no standing still, and the difference is never found in one big moment. It's in the small, often invisible decisions you make daily. The choice to reconnect with your purpose. The discipline to do what needs to be done even when it's uncomfortable. The emotional awareness to lead yourself before trying to lead others. The humility to keep learning. The courage to invest in people and relationships that stretch you. This isn't about perfection, it's about alignment. It's about progress. It's about waking up each morning and saying, today I will do the things that matter. Even if no one claps for me, even if no one sees. Because the results the world will eventually see are shaped by what you do when no one's watching. The greatest transformations don't come from chasing motivation, they come from building momentum. And momentum is built by working on these 5 things every single day. Purpose, discipline, emotional control, lifelong learning, relationships. These are not habits of the elite, they are the commitments of the consistent. So start where you are, use what you have, and remember this. You don't need to do everything at once, you just need to begin. Because when you do, you'll realize something powerful. You're not just working on your goals, you're working on you. And that will always be the most valuable project of your life. Keep showing up, keep working on it every day.